Hello and welcome. This is Japan, and we have another episode of Evolve here. Actually, a jam-packed one for like the future of Evolve. So it was kind of one of those ones where you definitely wanted to dissect a lot of different things, and so we're gonna jump into it. Right off the bat, I think we had the match first, but I don't know why it switched it over. We had Tristan Angels versus Roman, not Romeo. God, I don't know. I just absolutely butchered both of their names. This match actually was pretty good. Both of these people are really strong, independent British, or not British, but like European wrestlers. Romero, I forget what his outside name was. It started with a Z. He signed the same thing like Ego Blanc signed, and so these are pretty hot prospects. And Angels actually was on the AAA show last Saturday too, so he's getting that extra push there too, which he did phenomenal over there too. I think they definitely are doing some different stuff. I do believe him, Angels, and the other one, Dorian, who also was on the AAA show. I would not be surprised if both of them will be on NXT very, very soon only and just kind of skip over Evolve. I think they just wanted to get them seen and get them a match, but I think they're way better talented like wrestlers to be like in this area. I can get them going into Evolve, but don't really get them here. So it makes sense that we could see them jump on. And we already have Chaz Starboy Hall already had a NXT match two this week, so I can see him immediately getting the skip to the next round or type thing. So it's like cool, we got a bunch of new talent, but I'm pretty sure all these guys are going to probably be called up to NXT probably very, very shortly. But this match, like I said, was a pretty fun first match. A little bit of like that European style where there's some technical stuff, a little bit of high flying stuff, a little bit of everything. I thought it was a solid B. I thought it was a good way to start off the show. Then we go backstage to Cam Hendricks and Jax Presley. Is it Jax or is it Riggs? I kind of forgot who. Yeah, I think it's Jax Presley. I forget which one's up and which one's hurt. They take it out. DJ Man and Tay Wilder, Luco Cristofino. I couldn't remember his name at first, but it was a good way, I guess, to skip over their time constraints on this episode because it definitely felt like they didn't have time to put that match on top of all of this, and we'll probably delay it until not next week but the week afterwards. So that's a good way of extending the rivalry without having to come to a head with a match. So I thought it was a good idea. I'll put it up in A. Then we had a backstage segment with some of the new people also. Santa Rivera, Jakara, is it Jakara Ball or Jake? I don't know what they said, how they pronounced it. Just some new guys in there. I think those guys are going to be ones that have a little bit more like time to like have matches and stuff. I think they're going to be here for a little bit longer than all the rest of the guys that they've announced. Plus, they have a tag match next week against Mike Cunningham and Lindsay Dorada, which we'll talk about more later. But I think this segment's good. I feel like it's kind of like one of those personalities that they're kind of using like Danhausen on the main roster, where like you can give him screen time in the back and he kind of fits different stuff and it works. So he gets a lot more screen time when you think about it than anybody else on the roster between his like studometer and stuff like that. He's a solid character to keep around to help with that, even if he's not getting the matches that he honestly kind of deserves because he's getting his gimmick over and getting everything over when he's in the ring. So, I'd like to see more of him, but I do like that we get to see him. So I'll put this up in A. Then we had our 4 new women. I say new women because like some of them are new, but some of them are also going back. So then first we had Veronica Haven. I'm gonna go over basically their promo kind of thing and like I guess the excitement. Veronica was the only one I do not believe I've seen outside of WWE or WWE's history. I'm pretty sure she's the only one that hasn't been on the roster before, or like any type of roster that I can think of. She seemed pretty good. She looked really good in the match. I think when she had a lot of time when she wasn't in it, but every time she was in there, she did pretty good. So we're kind of, I guess, going over the match at the same time because all 4 of these women attacked or was after each other. I think she seemed pretty solid in the mic. Her character and look pretty good. So I think all of that was pretty good. I think she has a good start. I'll put her in B. Next, we have Anya Rune. Now, this one's an interesting one because it was very polarizing that nobody liked her character because she was like the uwu anime girl. Now, I've seen her outside of wrestling as Erica Dream. She's a pretty solid wrestler. I don't think she's like the best fit ever. I mean, obviously she's an indie person that's coming up into the world and trying to do stuff, but I think she's going to get way more hate, unfortunately, for this gimmick. I think it's fine. I like it. It's a different thing. It fits on her vibe that she's going for and what she knows. Even the Anya fan, I'm pretty sure, is named after God, the Spy. God, what is the anime now? I just want to say Spy Kids, but that's the old TV show. Wow, we're totally spies. Uh, I'm just hoping that it comes out. But no, Anya, the kid in that, I think it's kind of what her name's from. I think she's going to have difficult connecting to the WWE fans. I think people are going to think it's very gimmicky and very, like, stupid. But they have a DJ on this roster, so they can't really say much of anything. And I think she's going to be good. She didn't have a good showing in the match, I would have to say. She did seem to be the one taking a lot of the pins. Obviously she wasn't the one pin, but like she was taking a lot of pins, so she was selling a lot and not getting as much offense in. But I think overall, I would say she's pretty solid. I'm excited to see more of her. I don't think the rest of the WWE universe is, so it was going to be unfortunate for her. Then we have Gianna What? How do you Capri? Yeah, yeah. I don't even know how you say the last name. I think she was Valentina Rossi. She used to be part of NXT and Level Up and stuff like that. She had a pretty good look to her. I think she has some pretty decent strength type moves. She really didn't get anything too crazy in this match. I think all of them kind of struggled to make hey, this is the number one contender. I mean, obviously Sloane Jacobs, who won it, I think had the best showing, but I would say she was probably about the same as Anya, but just probably going to get a little bit more over with her character than Anya will. Then you had Sloane Jacobs. She's been part of Evolve, or not Evolve, but NXT before. She did Level Up matches. Honestly, I like her. I think she has a decent look and she has a decent move set. She's a little bit, slow to make contact with her moves and do stuff like that. But I think that's fine. I mean, that's kind of one of those things where you kind of have to get the speed up when you're doing this type of stuff. And I think also you got to say who you're going against, that they kind of have to get those things together with you. Like, I feel like you have like a whole talented roster here that ranges from being like completely green to indie ready to like maybe even being a main roster ready, or not main roster but NXT roster ready. And so you kind of have to fit in there by being able to look good with all of them. But I think she did pretty solid. I'll put her up in B. The match itself, I think I'd put in a C altogether. I just think the Fatal 4-Way part with how much time was in it, nobody really looked great. So I think it was just like, it was a solid match to see how each one could do, but I think they could have definitely made the ending a little bit more tighter. I would have probably went with all four women being in the ring and each one doing their finisher to the next until the last person hit the the last person with their finisher to win it. That's kind of where I would have went, but they kind of just had a few little things and then it was just the burst and end. After the fact, Lady Luck had came out, or she was in the VIP section, and then Callie Armstrong had made like her debut out there. Now, Callie Armstrong, I was really thinking could possibly win that Evolve title, but she's already going to make her NXT debut next week. So I think she's gone from Evolve. I think once she finishes this championship elimination chamber type or eliminator match, I think that's her last match in Evolve. I'm just throwing it out there because the timetable fits. There's a little back and forth fit. I think it worked really good because it gave Lady Luck a little bit more of a there she is, that's who she is type of thing. So I was kind of glad that they gave her a little bit more. Still don't think she's going to win. Also, PJ Vasa had came out when the four women were debuting and said that they're like her next four victims. I just can't get behind PJ Vasa. Just seems I don't know. She doesn't have like that intimidation factor really for me. So then, yeah, the elimination match, I think, is now, 7 people? It has Sloane Jacobs taking a spot before the other 5 that were already in the match, plus a mystery person, which is probably going to be somebody from NXT coming down, which I could see somebody in Fatal Influence. I really still believe that Nikki Blackheart's going to debut, and that might be her debut spot. But I do believe the title should go to Winnie Chu. I think that would be the perfect person to set up whatever the next they're doing. I don't really feel like there's anybody else after this. I mean, it really feels like it needs to be Wendy. We know PJ Voss is the last one in, so there's a possibility she could win it, but I really hope they don't go with that. I'll put it up in A because I'm really excited about that match. And yeah, the build up. Then we have the tag match. Again, I'm pretty pumped for this match because I think it's going to be good too. We had talked about it on the channel, and I've talked in the comments about it too, where Mike Cunningham's character probably needs to be a heel or like at least a little bit reworked. And this would be the perfect time for him to turn heel and go against Lince Dorado, because then that could set up a little feud with them. And then, you know, him fully turning heel, I think would work pretty well for the whole entire thing. So cautiously optimistic that we might get something crazy on that match, but we never know. Then we had our title match, but I'll talk about the quick thing that we had. VIP, we had Brooks Jensen in it. Cappuccino Jones came and attacked him, so they're setting that up for a further date. Again, I think that's also another good idea, so I'll put that up in B. And then we get to our main event, Aaron Rourke versus Starboy Hall. Hall? Yeah. Starboy Hall. Jesus. I don't know why that did not come out of my mouth correctly. This match absolutely cooked. I mean, Chaz, I think, is just way too talented for the Evolve roster, and I already see him on NXT. I can see him probably being an NXT mainstay after this. If this is his last match in Evolve, I would not be surprised. Sadly for Evolve and like watching it, I'm disappointed not to see him more, but it makes a lot of sense for what they're doing here. It's like pretty much Evolve is going to be people that they're trying to work to get into the WWE system, then have time to do it, and less of like you're getting thrown to the wolves. But I think these people are already ready to go. Like Dorian has, I think, a match next week, and I think he's going to be gone after that. They've been using these people also on AAA shows. Like, I think they're way more ready for NXT than they need to be for Evolve. And this match cooked. It was a great first title defense for Aaron Rourke. I put it up in A. I really liked it. Everything about it. Then we had Harlem Lewis, Jax, and Cam Hendricks looking back there. The heels kind of circling the water. I really do feel like they should back off Cam Hendricks being looking at the title picture, because his feud with Tate Wilder, it's like that can really last them a couple episodes, and then they could circle back to, Cam Hendricks doing something else with that. I don't feel like they really need to put him in this, because it's just like heels looking at, like, there's multiple heels looking for a babyface. It just seems pointless when you have Harlem Lewis there that's ready and like thinking that he's getting dodged by him, that he's going to probably attack Aaron Rourke soon, and then they're going to set that as like a larger date type thing. So I just think it's a waste to even put him in there, but it's whatever. It's not like it really makes it that bad. Still excited to see that match. I'll put it on A. I'm going to honestly put the show in an A. I know I have stuff a little bit lower, but it was just, I think, a pivotal show for the future. Obviously, I think a lot of the men's talent that we saw here is probably going to be on its way out already. I really do believe so, unfortunately. But the women's talent, I think the people that they brought in here, I think are going to really help the division out. I really hope that they focus in on trying to build some of these people up. I think, honestly, all four of them will be great. I think Salone obviously should probably be their focal point because she's already been in the NXT system before, and she has the most experience. And I honestly like Anya the best. I really do. I think she would be a fun character. I just think that her gimmick and stuff has rubbed WWE fans a little too bad, because there's people that I've never even talked to about Evolve, and randomly they'll be like, oh, did you see this person on Evolve? I know you watched that. Like, oh my god, well, that is so cringe. And I'm just like, okay, well, that's not the kind of stuff we want to hear if somebody wants to see Evolve, and you're only seeing the clips of the bad stuff or what you think is bad. Is not a good sign for the brand itself. So I guess we'll see. I really do think they should give her the shot, because I think she's pretty talented compared to some of the other women on the roster. So I think we could really see something if they would just give her a shot. But I don't know if she's going to get that. But yeah, this has been Evolve. We review it every week. It was a little late this week, but we've been doing pretty good. We're going to have a bunch of WrestleMania stuff coming up, because WrestleMania is next weekend. So if you enjoy that type of build-up, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys!